Hello, Championship Football Coaches Clinic. This Coach Dick LeBeau, a man whose whole life was football. 45 years of coaching in the NFL, 14 years of playing in the NFL, 4 years of playing for Ohio State, and 4 years of playing for London High School. And that totals up about 59 and 8, 67 years coaching something or playing. So I was asked to talk to you a little bit about what I learned from my experiences in all those years and some of the great men that I had the complete honor to play for or work for. I would start with my high school coach, a man by the name of Jim Bolus. I've talked to you guys before, and you know how I feel about the finest coaching in the United States of America that takes place at the high school level, and that the high school coaches are the true coaches of the nation. And they take these kids and take them from their parents at an early age, and they become a very firm learning source outside of the home of people, an authority influence, and a respect for democracy, the ethics of teamwork, and the virtue of good, fair play, and sportsmanship, and also a little bit of competitive desire and a want to win also, which never hurts nothing to anybody. So my high school coach, Jim Bowles was his name. He won 75% of his games coaching in my little town, London, Ohio. And he would talk to me all throughout my whole career. I would come to see him when I had time, stop in his living room, and we'd have Coca-Cola and chat a little bit. And his theory was always KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And he would say even way later, when he was retired and I was working, he'd say, Dick, he said, I want you to know one thing. He said, a man can do one thing easier than he can do two. And he always plays a little bit better if you just give him one thing to do and not give him two or three. So I knew that in many situations, the higher level you get, it's not physically possible for him to just do one thing all the time. But I would try to do this if I was in a funk a little bit with our defense. I would start blitzing, and with blitzes, you snap the ball and you're going in one gap and away you go, and that way I said, that's for you, Jim. I said, that's the easiest thing I know for him to do. You don't have to read nothing. Just go get in that hole and create havoc and penetrate and make some plays. So I think it's a pretty thing to remember. And my first coach after Jim was Woody Hayes. And one thing about, I was exposed to Woody Hayes in the pros. I went to Paul Brown, was my first coach there. Was coached very early on when I went to Detroit from Cleveland by Don Shula. Yes, Don Shula that was Shula's first pro job, actually. He was our defensive coordinator, and got to work under him. Was fortunate enough to make some Pro Bowls, and playing in Pro Bowls, I played with Tom Landry. Shula was there also. Vince Lombardi. Let's see. George Allen, thank you. I have to peek a little bit here. So many, years and so many guys. But what I did, I would study each one of them. And one thing that I know about these gentlemen, they were all a little bit different in personality and a little bit different actually in their teaching styles. But what they were was very much themselves. And I didn't see them trying to be somebody else. That was the biggest lesson I learned from the many coaches that I was exposed to. Decide what you are, And hey, we all got our own little mannerisms. We all got our own little ways of speaking, and it might be a little affectation, whatever it is. Don't you can try to improve it a little bit. Practice your delivery when you talk or whatever, but don't try to be a movie star when you're just a football coach. That was my theory, and it had already gotten me a degree in college at least, and my certificate of teaching in high school. And I said, well, it's going to be good enough because it's me, and I don't have to remember who I was trying to be when I talked to them, when I told them that. I just was myself. And that was the one thing that I kind of got reinforced. The other thing that I tried to study under all these great coaches, and I worked with great coaches, Bill Cowher and Dom Capers, worked together. Mike Tomlin, Bart Starr, I worked for and with. I watched the way they did things, and I would say, even my position coaches, I'm not going to start naming them, the way they taught and the way they would correct and deal with problems that would come up. And I would just say to myself, was that the way I would do that? I mean, I don't think so. It didn't motivate me. Or I would say that was pretty good. I think that's not a bad way to do things. It's called growing and learning experiences. And that's why you need experience. You should get better at everything you're doing. So those are the most important messages that I would give to anybody. Just be yourself. That's A. B, have a philosophy and make it your own. Expose yourself, go to clinics, read books, talk to anybody you can talk to, watch as much video as you possibly can, and develop your own philosophies and your own beliefs. And from that, make sure you understand how to do it and how to handle problems that can develop in it. We call them snakes. If you get a snake, you got to be able to stamp it out, man, or players lose a little confidence in you right away. So be simple, be clear in communicating what you want them to do. Study it, know it, make it yourself, make it your own. Through trial and error, keep things that work and throw away things that don't. Don't be afraid to throw away a good idea just because you thought of it. And always just tell the truth and treat people honestly, and really let players know that you're there with their best interests in your heart, and you want to see them get better, and that's the only reason you're coaching. There's a lot of talking there, but I think they're all good, sound advice, and that's Coach Dick LeBeau's saying, adios.